Has expired. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Stivers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate you being here. I'd like to welcome you before the committee, Mr. Cordray. Most people don't know it in the room, but Mr. Cordray is my constituent, so it's always good to have a constituent in the room. And you probably, I know you answered the question to Mr. Royce from California earlier, sent you a letter with 329 members of Congress who signed it bipartisan, a massive majority of the members of Congress. And Mr. Royce asked you a little bit about it, but he left a little bit out, and I just wanted to follow up a little bit. So did you read the letter by any chance? It's about
I don't think it's come to me yet.
Okay,
I think
good.
it
Well,
came over yesterday, and I have not seen it yet.
Nope. I know you're a busy man. I hope you read it soon. So the bottom line is the General Accounting Office.
I read all the letters. I just haven't gotten that one yet.
No, I understand.
So,
I understand.
okay.
The General Accounting Office did a study, and they found the number of cases where community financial institutions, both small credit unions and small banks, had to discontinue or limit access to services as a result of your regulations. And you have the authority under Section 1022 of Dodd-Frank to modify your regulations and sort of adapt them to the people that they're applied to. So I would urge you to do that. And I'm a very visual person, so I have a visual display for you. And Jesse's going to hand you a T-shirt. Could you hold up that T-shirt and take a look at it real quick? And maybe comment, is it a nice T-shirt? Is it well designed?
I'm not an expert on T-shirts, although I do wear it.
It looks like a nice T-shirt. Could you hold it up a second, please?
Excuse me.
Just I want. So okay. So could you try to put it on? What size is it? Have you looked at it?
I kind of dressed in my normal uniform today, and I'm kind of reluctant to deviate.
Does it look like a big T-shirt or a small T-shirt?
Looks to me like a small T-shirt.
It's a small T-shirt. That is a size 2T T-shirt. Compliments of Sam Stivers.
2-teen?
2T. Compliments of my son. 2T.
What's that mean?
It means he's a toddler.
Okay, got it.
And so it means you wouldn't fit in it. So the two ways you could fit in that are go on a massive diet and restrict yourself, which is what a lot of our community financial institutions are doing to make themselves smaller to serve their clients less, or they could strain the T-shirt and break the T-shirt, T-shirt being the regulation. That's the problem you're putting folks in. So I'd ask you to take a look.
Could I have a moment?
At you can in a second. I'll give you time. Take a look at your authority. You talked earlier about your authority. You took your authority seriously in another realm when you were talking to one of my colleagues and said, we take our authority very seriously. Take your authority under 1022 seriously, too. So what are you going to do about that? And I'll give you about 20 or 30 seconds to tell me what you're going to do to help these folks under, and you admitted you haven't read it, so you probably can't tell me what you're going to do, but I guess I will ask you, are you going to read it and take this seriously? Could you answer that question?
Sure, but let me also talk about the facts here, because, for example, CUNA, they have economists on staff that actually present facts in reports, and then they also write certain opinion pieces that don't jibe with the facts. Credit union membership last year, in the wake of 4 years of the CFPB, is at a new all-time high in the nation. That's good news, I think, but it's not consistent with this notion that we're killing credit unions. Credit union share of the mortgage lending market, where supposedly our rules are stifling them and driving them out of business, is at its highest level than it has been for the last 20 years of keeping track. They're doing better in a marketplace that rewards responsible lenders, all right? It is also the case that we have contoured our rules in ways that give advantages or give differential treatment to smaller lenders, whether community banks or credit unions, because that's consistent with the data coming out of the crisis that they had lower defaults than other lenders. They should be able to continue their relationship lending model, and our rules have provided specifically for that. We will continue to think about those things on a case-by-case basis, but this argument that everybody's being driven out of business, they're stopping products, they can't fit into a 2T toddler T-shirt, isn't consistent with the HMDA data, which shows that total mortgage lenders, numbers of mortgage lenders were up last year, that credit union membership is at all-time highs, and that credit union mortgage lending in particular has increased its share of the market at the expense of large banks.
And I've given you a little time, and I'd like to reclaim my time and tell you the problem is the number of small credit unions is going down because your regulations are making it difficult for small credit unions. They're having to merge, and I had it happen in my district.
Yeah.
3 credit unions merged into one bigger credit union because of the regulatory burden. We're seeing it all over this country. The same thing with small banks, and the regulatory climate is speeding it up. It's not the only cause, but it's speeding it up.
Congressman,
And
it's been
please use
happening
your
since the
authority.
1920s. Since the
Use your
1920s. There's
authority
nothing
to
specific
make
about
it
Dodd-Frank that is changing.
Time of
It's
the
been happening
gentleman
since
has
the
expired. The
1920s.
chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Ohio, Ms. Beatty.